What's going on YouTube? Sean here. Welcome to day 20 of the Godzilla Rewatch, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla II, which isn't a sequel, it's the second interpretation, second version of Mechagodzilla. This is, we had 85, we have Biollante, Ghidorah, Mothra. This is the fifth entry in the Heisei series of Godzilla films. And it's one of the best. It's in the top two for me at this point. I mean, there's elements of Destroya and Space Godzilla I really like. Or no, is this top two? I don't know. I'm gonna rewatch Space Godzilla and Destroya and really dictate that there. But this one is definitely up there for me personally in terms of the second series. The action sequences are great. You get more Godzilla this time around than you have in all the other Godzilla films, at least up until King of the Monsters. I don't know how much screen time he has in that film, but if you go look up Godzilla screen time, which movie has the most in, it's this one. Within the first 14 minutes of the movie, Godzilla's on screen already fighting Rodan. So I'm just like, this movie, they knew exactly what they want to do. They kept it paced pretty quickly. The music by Akira Ifukube is the best of the second series. Hands down, easily, without a doubt. Although Destroya, I think, comes in pretty close. I think Destroya has the emotional tracks, but in terms of just badass themes, like Mechagodzilla II has an amazing theme. It's like dun 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 dun. I used to be able to play that on the piano, but I haven't practiced in a long time, so I've pretty much forgotten all of it. But yeah, badass music this time around by Ifukube. Godzilla is still Godzilla doing his thing. Rodan makes a return after having not been in a movie since, I think, what was the last time we saw Rodan? Was it Megalon? The last time? I think he was stock footage in that movie. But yeah, it has been an awfully long time since we've seen our good old pal Rodan. And it's good to see him back. His design-wise, though, I don't think it's quite as good as, the Showa-era design of Rodan. It's kind of like, it just doesn't look the best to me. But he has fire breath, which is cool, which means more beam spamming. Yes, I love beam spamming. Although Rodan gets more into more hand-to-hand combat. There's one part where Godzilla grabs his throat and he's choking him out, and Rodan's just ramming himself into Godzilla and just taking him on head-on, which I think is pretty cool. The plot of this one is different from the original Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. They changed it up this time around. This time, Godzilla is the villain and Mechagodzilla II is the hero, which I like about it. So they, in essence, took the remains of Mecha King Ghidorah and decided to use the technology implemented in there to craft Mechagodzilla, the ultimate Godzilla weapon to stop him once for all. There's also another weapon known as Garuda, which fuses to make Super Mechagodzilla, which is awesome. Mechagodzilla's got all sorts of unique weapons, just like the original. The design of this one, it's not as good as the original Mechagodzilla. So that original suit is iconic, it's classic. I kind of like the suit. It has space titanium, which is even better than just simple, steel or whatever types of metals they're using in this one. It's from space and titanium, so, and just the design of it, just the facial features, it's more expressive. The Mechagodzilla II design is definitely more robust, it doesn't have as much expression in the face with the design. It just looks a little bit awkward. I still like the design overall, but I just prefer the classic Mechagodzilla design over this one. Although the Kiryu design is really up there for me. The Mechagodzilla 3 design, I think, is right up there with the original design. I think they're both really good, but it's really hard for me to choose. I think in terms of updates, I think that one's spectacular compared to the original one. Different, unique. That one looks great. I'm God, I have trouble deciding between those two, which one I like more. But yeah, this one's definitely the dark horse of the live-action Mechagodzilla designs. It's my least favorite of them all, but I still think the design is fine overall. It's just not as good as some of the other ones. His abilities in that are pretty cool, though. He has this he shoots out these these little cables to shoot in Godzilla's second brain to try and paralyze him in an operation that they call G-Crusher. I thought that was pretty good. And what I like about this film, too, is its pacing. It's paced really well. A lot of shit happens and awfully quick. This movie doesn't drag at all. Unlike the last film, which is kind of really dragged down, and by the end of it, you're kind of just drained. This one's no, we gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving. It's just going rapid fire. It's giving you the epic music, it's giving you the Mesa March, all that other fun stuff. You have Baby Godzilla, who makes his first appearance in the second series, who actually looks like Godzilla. If I saw this thing, okay, that's an offspring of Godzilla, versus Minya, who I'm it looks like Godzilla had sex with some weird other looking kaiju. I don't know. It's whoever Mrs. Godzilla is, which, you know, we still have not seen that in the series. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen Mrs. Godzilla or a Godzilla family. That would be, you know, if I were making a Godzilla film, I'd add that element to it because it's something we haven't seen. I want to see what Godzilla would be like in terms of like family man Godzilla. I think that'd be kind of cool. But that's just me. Yeah, so baby Godzilla's here. He looks pretty good. The practical design of the suit is nice. He has a close connection with some of the humans. Mickey Cycus is there, of course, doing her thing. The military is going toe-to-toe with Godzilla again. There's some excitement behind it. And I just really love Mechagodzilla II. I think Mechagodzilla II just looks sweet. It's a shame he goes into the next movie, although it was cool to see Mogera back after having an altered version from the Mysterians. So, but we'll talk about that tomorrow when we talk about Space Godzilla. So yes, plot's pretty simple, straightforward. Military builds Mechagodzilla 2. They got to stop Godzilla doing their thing. You get the drill. If you've seen these movies, you kind of know, like, okay, Godzilla's either on their side or they're against Godzilla. It's just pretty straightforward. They got their own little weapons here and there. I think they're pretty cool. And then, obviously, Rodan comes into play. Rodan, I guess, wants to eat baby Godzilla or do something with him. There's kind of a weird connection there. There's also some like, strange psychic energy. Like, there's some stuff in this movie where I'm just kind of like, okay, the girls sang a song and then they just gained powers. I don't know. There's some kind of strange stuff in there. But this series has definitely showcased a lot of the more mythic aspects of the Godzilla franchise. Like the Heisei series did in particular. Really from, it kind of started with Biollante and then they really like expanded upon that in Mothra versus Godzilla, the Battle for Earth. Or no, Godzilla and Mothra, the Battle for Earth. That one really expanded on the more mythic aspects of the franchise, and then they just expanded that a little bit in here, and then they added to that some more in Space Godzilla, per se. But yeah, I kind of like the Heisei series. It's just like, you have both this blend of mythic and kind of more grounded type Godzilla films. It has a bit of everything, and I appreciate that about it. So, what else can I say about this film? I really dig the score. The action sequences are a lot better this time around. There's a little bit more in-your-face, hand-to-hand type combat. Godzilla at one point is pretty much paralyzed and almost dies, but Rodan comes in there and basically like gives his life energy and just fuses into Godzilla, healing his wounds, and then giving Godzilla his super atomic breath, because Godzilla's atomic breath is blue, but when he gets his super atomic breath, it turns red. So this is kind of little teases and bits of foreshadowing to like Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and of course he uses it in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. It's just his super red atomic ray is just the more powerful ray than the blue ray, and he just eviscerates and annihilates Mechagodzilla 2. Then at the end of the movie, little Godzilla goes out to the sea with Godzilla. They play this like really strange, bizarre choir music, and it basically sends us off from there. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. The more I watch it, the more I enjoy it. It's definitely like up there in terms of the best of the second series. I got to rewatch Space Godzilla and Destroyer to dictate where I'd rank this one, because like King Ghidorah, like that's the one I have the most connection to. But even then, there's still kind of bits in that movie where it drags. But Mechagodzilla 2, this one, it just goes at a really brisk, quick pace, and it really gets to the stuff that you want to see. You want to see Godzilla? You got more Godzilla in this film than any other Godzilla film in history. Now, I don't know about how much screen time he has in King of the Monsters, but I'm assuming it's close to this level. So maybe he even has more screen time in that film than this film. But yeah, regardless, you get a lot of fucking Godzilla in this movie, and it's great. It's great to see him, great to get to the action. There's some elements of the combat which doesn't really show. I mean, you have certain limitations with man in suit if you're doing like a flying kaiju versus Godzilla. So some of the spots where like Rodan's like going toe to toe with Godzilla, it doesn't look as great per se as say like fighting with King Kong, where it's just, you have a lot more mobility in the suits. When you're doing flying kaiju, it's a little bit more difficult unless you have like really full motion control of all the creature's limbs and stuff. Which Rodan, like they showcase it a bit, but there's times where it's just like, okay, sometimes it seems maybe a little bit staticky. It's a lot better this time around than Mothra versus Godzilla and Mothra Battle for Earth, but still I can see some issues going on there. There are some funny moments in the movie, for instance, with this one dude joining G-Force and such. I kind of like that. And is this the first? I didn't even notice this. Was this the first one with G-Force? I'd have to double check again. but I believe this might have been the first movie with G-Force. I'm probably wrong, or I could be right. I don't know, but I think this is the first one that introduced G-Force. I don't really remember it in the last film, per se. I remember the twin fairies in that being kidnapped by some rich a-hole, but I don't remember G-Force playing a factor. I think this is the first one to feature G-Force, per se, because this is the one where they're really building their own weapons at this time around. The military was just kind of doing their own thing. There wasn't really a Godzilla force, so I like G-Force. I think G-Force is a pretty cool idea, like this, like team tasked with taking on Godzilla, however means necessary. But yeah, there's some mythic elements to here. Great musical score. Really good Godzilla action sequences. The music, once again, really helps elevate them, just ups the intensity the whole way through. And it's paced pretty well. So, overall, this is a pretty great Godzilla film. And the more I watch this one, the more I enjoy it. So, take it for what it's worth. Do you like this movie? Do you dislike it? Let me know in the comments section down below. We'll chat about this movie some more. Hit that bell for notifications. Hit the subscribe button. I'm already past 500 subs, which is fantastic, and I thank everybody for that. I've just been, hammering out videos at a pace that I've never done before. It's been I did my 30 days of Godzilla, but I did the Marvel Rewatch videos. I do these videos. I'm doing other videos on top of that. I'm just getting multiple videos out, a lot. So, that's one of the reasons the subs are growing at a much quicker rate. This is the most amount of content I've, flushed out in, a continuous spree. So, and like I said, I'm starting to get back to working on more things now that I have a bit more free time. I still got school stuff to do, but I'm just kind of working on this stuff. But yeah, all right, I'm getting a little bit off topic. So, yeah, more videos coming out. Thank you all so much for watching the Godzilla Rewatch. Be sure to come back tomorrow as we take a look at Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, which is a film that I think is severely underrated. But that's just me. We'll talk about it some more tomorrow. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Once again, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you tomorrow.